This is Third Degree, a very warm welcome. 2013, and we kick off things with our 250 million rand show. Yes, you heard correctly. This week, we are going to spend 250 million rand in as many different ways as possible. Despite his triumph at Mangaung, the controversy around President Jacob Zuma's 250 million rand splurge on the upgrade of his personal home in Nkandla just won't go away. And with that in mind, we look at just what you can buy with that sum, from new textbooks to infrastructure to toilets. What kind of a difference would 250 million rand make in the lives of the poor? But first, producer Megan Small-Lipka unpacks the background to the Nkandla upgrade furor. Over the past year, President Jacob Zuma was embroiled in controversies, bad decisions, flawed judgment. Despite this, he received overwhelming support in Mangaung, winning a second term as the ANC's president. But his year ahead is likely to be dogged by more controversy over the astonishing amount of taxpayers' money approved to upgrade his private home in Nkandla in KwaZulu-Natal, allegedly for security reasons. Planned facilities include a helicopter pad, a police station, a visitor centre and a bunker, an underground shelter to protect him against enemy attacks. Journalist Adrian Basson investigated Nkandla in his book Zuma Exposed.
In September last year, in 2012, I got leaked documents from within the Public Works Department showing that that department alone has spent more than 200 million rand on upgrading Zuma's property. Now, this is called security upgrades, but the more we wrote and the more we revealed this expenditure, more information was leaked to us in the media, and we then got information to show exactly on what that 200+ million was spent. It included things like a private clinic for Zuma and his family. It included things like a cattle culvert, which is like a tunnel for his cattle to walk through, a tuck shop for bodyguards. So it included a lot of things which people would argue is not security upgrades.
After a countrywide outcry, the Department of Public Works promised to account for the massive expenditure.
Public Works Minister Thulas Nxesi has promised the country now for more than 2 months that he will investigate the spending. At the end of last year, he promised that the investigation was almost complete and that he would announce the results to the whole of the nation. We're now in January, nothing has come of this probe. He has not announced his results. What we do know is that Thuli Madonsela, the Public Protector, and the Auditor General are also investigating the expenditure on Nkandla, and specifically the role of Public Works in approving and in paying for upgrades that may have benefited Zuma and his family personally. What we do know, for example, is that some of the expenditure that were made also went to the houses of Zuma's brothers, which forms part of his whole, of the whole area that he lives in.
The furor would not die down. The DA laid charges at a local police station, attempted to inspect the residence. They were stopped by police and Zuma supporters.
To block a public road and to prevent us from doing our job under the Constitution is being defended by the police while we are being stopped here. It is absolutely necessary for us to show just how much power is being abused and how corrupt the government is.
More public figures spoke out. Archbishop Desmond Tutu slammed the upgrade as a slap in the face of the poor who live in poverty in nearby villages.
Nkandla is one of the country's most impoverished areas, and I don't think anybody could criticize development to the Nkandla area and its people. This is not what's happening here. This is a very small part of Nkandla. This is in Kamalala tribal area where Zuma and his family stays. The clinic that's being built, etc., is not for the use of the Nkandla community. It's for the use of Zuma and his family. So I think we have to draw a clear distinction between community development, which would improve the living conditions of people in that whole area, the whole Ishawe in Nkandla bigger area, and Zuma development for him and his family that he will be able to use even if he leaves his term as state president of the country.
With all the presidents former presidents currently, starting from President de Klerk, are still enjoying the same protection measures. They might be at different scales depending on where they are located.
This amount of money has never been spent on any other president's personal home.
We researched the money spent on the private residences of former presidents, including President Nelson Mandela, F.W. de Klerk, as well as Thabo Mbeki. And what we found was that it's not even vaguely the same kind of amount or extent of upgrades. Looking at President Mandela's compound or estate in Kunu in the Eastern Cape, what we were told and what we found out was that he used his personal money to build and construct that estate. The only additions that the state did was to give him extra security, which cost far less than 20 million rand. It was in the tens of millions of rands. So it was not closely near to the 250 million rand. Thabo Mbeki lives in a house in Johannesburg. The state gave him a secure wall, a bodyguard at the gate, and security upgrades. So, there's really no comparison in terms of the extent of the upgrades. Yes, President Zuma is entitled to some security, but also remember that he's still in office. That President Zuma has use of at least 3 state president houses in Cape Town, in Pretoria and in Durban, where he and his family can live for free in a huge state estate. Genadendal in Cape Town, Nkandla Ndlovu in Pretoria, and King's House in Durban. And these are state-sponsored houses. He's still the president. He's not a former president and has to be looked after.
The Nkandla debacle will not go away. The Minister of Public Works has said he will reveal the approved amounts later this year. Coming up, how many textbooks could 250 million rand buy?